His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to 8 Mile. This is the first in our movie week reactions for this week. For those who don't know, at the last full week of each month, outside of October and December, we do a movie week. Instead of having 2 movies on the weekend like we normally do every week, we have Monday through Friday movies. 5 movies instead of just the 2. But that means there will be no movies on Saturday and Sunday this week. Just Monday through Friday. And we do a theme each time. The theme for this month's movie week, is movies that have numbers in the title, but aren't just like a sequel that's like, oh, movie title here, 2. No, it's like the number is like part of the title. And so 8 Mile is an example of that. Now, I don't know too much about this movie. This is a donation reward for Venom, by the way. But I do know 8 Mile is, I believe, to some degree, the story of Eminem. I know he stars in this. I know his music is part of it. And obviously, it's named after 8 Mile here in Detroit. Being a major street here where Eminem grew up. And I don't know how much of like a biographical thing this is going to be or how accurate to his life. I don't even know if the character he's playing this is just himself, Marshall Mathers, Eminem. I don't know. But this movie came out over 2 decades ago, and for someone who has lived in Detroit the vast majority of my life, who was born in Detroit, or, you know, the Detroit area, I have never seen this. Hell, I would even consider myself a casual fan of Eminem's music. I've never seen this. And so now I finally get the chance to. I don't know exactly what to expect with it. I assume like the rapping is going to be a major part of the film. And I assume we're going to touch on kind of like the economic issues with like this part of Detroit and everything. Probably going to touch on socio issues and stuff like that. Just things in that kind of realm. Very curious to see like what exactly happens in this. I don't know any other actors who are in this. I don't know anything like specific about the story. I do know there's this one like, I guess, rap battle scene in it because people have talked about that, but I've never like, I don't even think seen a clip. Or if I have seen a clip, it was super brief. But yeah, I have not watched this. Just never got around to it for one reason or another. There are just other movies I was more interested in. And mind you, when this came out in 2002, I believe it was, it's like, I was 10 years old. I'm not going to be watching this at 10. No. I'm watching Rocket Power at 10. I'm watching Fox Kids and stuff. I'm watching Disney movies. I'm not watching this. And now I'm 33, and I am watching this. So, better late than never, I guess, right? So yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what this is about. I think this is a good way to start, considering, you know, my connection to Detroit and everything. And so, let's just get into this and see what this movie has on offer. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, first off, I was looking some things up afterwards, and I found out apparently Eminem turned down appearing in The Fast and the Furious to make this movie, which is wild to find out. That would have been so different if he had been in The Fast and the Furious. But there were a lot of like other big names like proposed for it. Like Cheddar Bob was one of the actors being looked at for him was Seth Rogen, which would have been wonderful. And apparently Mariah Carey was considered to play Stephanie, Jimmy's mom, which that would have been pretty interesting in and of itself. But yeah, a lot of little interesting tidbits about the cast and everything there. Um, but Eminem was also involved directly with this movie from the start, and while there were like some phases it went through in production, it it was like very clear that it needed to be about Detroit and about the people within it and those, struggling within it, all the different viewpoints of it. And I've seen other movies that have touched on Detroit and all of those topics that go in line with it. And I would probably even say I've seen other movies that have maybe done it better. Because this was focused on like a very specific group of people and a very specific like economic group of people specifically. And that's great, but I feel like the perspectives just have been done a little more widely in other films. There's this one movie I'm trying to think of. I think it might have just been called Detroit. Let me see if I can look that up. Yeah, it was called Detroit. It was from 2017. Um, and it stars Will Poulter and John Boyega. John Krasinski's in it. That was a really good movie that touched on these kind of topics and whatnot. Um, so I think that movie may have done like a little bit of it just slightly better in terms of the intensity of things. I felt like they held back a little bit on this. And you could say like, oh, but they kept it very realistic. They didn't like glam it up, or not just glam it up, but even make it seem more um how would I put it? They didn't exaggerate it too much. And to a point you got to appreciate that, but it does take away a little bit of the entertainment factor. And honestly, there's been some crazier shit that's gone down as well. It's like it wasn't just like made realistic, it was toned down a little. Um, they could have definitely gone into some much heavier shit with all of this and delved into it in a lot more aggressive of a way. And I feel like kind of everything pretty much working out in the end is also a little bit hopeful, because it's like he ends up on a good relationship with Alex even in the end, more or less. Like she's still going to New York, but they kind of mended the relationship after, she cheated on him. I guess they were never like officially together, but practically she, at the very least, you could say she was leading him on, and then like behind his back, was it probably it wasn't just that one time. She was probably with Wink, let's be honest. And that's not okay. And while Wink was never forgiven, Wink just remained with the free world and just, became an outsider to them, to the friend group. her being forgiven and everything kind of working out there is a little disappointing. I really feel like there should have been more repercussions for that, and just kind of like everything working out just rubs me a little bit the wrong way. Um, I also feel like everything working out with his job probably was a little unrealistically hopeful. I feel like with the way things had gone and like his boss, let's be honest, was unfairly mean and cruel to him. Because it's like, yeah, he in some ways, in some cases, like was not like always the most attentive and whatnot, but he never did anything that we saw that would be worthy of like being threatened to be fired and stuff constantly like that, like he was. It made no sense to me why like he would be treated like that. His boss was just kind of an asshole to him. And then suddenly he's not. It's like, oh, you've been doing good lately. You want some extra shifts? Take these extra shifts. Oh, yeah, it's good. Everything's good. He even gets to leave. Like, he even leaves and just has another guy cover for him, and and then goes back. It's like, oh, okay. You're just going to do that, not face any repercussions for leaving after you specifically, like, were given the extra shift you asked for? And, like, yeah, it was covered, but still. It's like, you're just okay to just suddenly leave and give it to someone else temporarily? That feels off, doesn't it? Um, I also feel like in the end, like I understand that Anthony Mackie's character choking is a reverse of what happened with Eminem at the beginning with Jimmy, but it's unsatisfying as an ending. Um, Jimmy going first is fine because it reverses as well with what had been going on the rest of the night with the other battles. But I feel like Papa Doc should have had a chance as well. I feel like Jimmy should have won on his more on his own merit rather than his opponent just not saying anything. I feel that's just not satisfying to me. That doesn't feel like a satisfying proper conclusion. It feels like he just was given it. And it's disappointing, you know? And it's like throughout the entire movie, it's like they really don't face any repercussions for most of the stuff they do. Shooting the cop car with the paintball gun, setting a house on fire. And it's like, with the house thing, it's like you understand why they did it and everything. But it's like none of the stuff they do, they ever really face repercussions for. And the one time that like something does happen, two things happen where it's like, okay, it's getting to that point, but it never actually like really gets to it. Cheddar Bob shooting himself in the leg was probably the most actual facing repercussions for their actions moment in this movie. Because, you know, waving the gun around stupidly like an idiot, and then, like, yeah, it's like his actions came back to bite him there. But nothing really came of it. It's like 15 minutes later, he was back in the movie, and it's like, yeah, he was on crutches for the rest of the time, but he was fine. It's like it didn't really amount to that much, you know? And then, and then you have like when Jimmy is beaten up while his sister watches helplessly from the window screaming. It's like, again, didn't amount to anything. He just keeps going right after. And in the first place, that wasn't even him getting beaten up for like anything he actually did. I guess it was supposed to be like, oh, because he beat up Wink and Wink ratted him out. Wink's a pussy ass bitch. He shouldn't have been, you know, fucking Alex behind Jimmy's back like that. And again, Jimmy was right to beat them up. He was in the right to beat Wink up in that moment and to get upset at them and to, do what he did. Wink was the one in the wrong. It's not facing repercussions for actions because he didn't do anything wrong. So it's like at no point in this movie do these characters ever actually, like, does anything they do ever really come back to bite them again, except for just the one moment with Cheddar Bob. It's like Jimmy and Future even make up and everything. Everything works out. It's too clean. And that's my biggest problem. Like, even with his mother and everything, oh, we're getting evicted. Oh, I'm dating this guy who's, abusive towards me. But he leaves and she ends up realizing that she's better off on her own. She ends up winning at bingo, getting the money so they don't get evicted and they can have, fresh groceries. It's like, it's too sanitized. That's my biggest issue with this film. Like, it tries to portray the, societal and economic inequalities of things, but the most it actually shows of that with any actual effect is literally the one character just expositing about it. Because that's what he does. That's his character's quirk. He just exposits about it. And the ideas here were good. The ideas and the concepts and a lot of what this movie was trying to say is great. Touching on topics about how Detroit is, not being taken care of. How a lot of these houses are being left up in ruins and everything. You see just how, like, bad the city can get in the locations where it is at its worst. But again, it never actually, like, to any real effect, goes anywhere with any of this. The movie Detroit, the 2017 one I was talking about, actually, does shit with that. It actually showcases the intensity and heaviness of that kind of thing without sanitizing it. And that just rubbed me the wrong way with this one. Like, there's nothing wrong with a movie wanting to be hopeful. There's nothing wrong with a movie wanting to, like, show a positive side to things. But this movie was clearly not meant to be that. I don't know if it was, like, just a script thing or a direction thing, or I don't know if, like, if someone else helming this would have made it better in that regard. I don't know. I don't know what caused this, but it's like, it just feels so unbelievably happy in the end. Everything works out. But that's my only real big issue with the film, because outside of that, I still enjoyed it. I was still invested in the story and the characters. And a lot of the issues that it was trying to touch on, even if it didn't go all the way with them, even if it really sanitized it in the end, a lot of the issues touching on are issues that should be touched on. They are things that really should be addressed. And I just feel like this could have been done better in regards to all of that. And it's not by any means a bad movie. The music is good. The performances are fantastic. Apparently, from what I read, the actor who played Soul, the bigger guy, the brother, one of the brothers, he apparently is the voice actor behind Raphael in Rise of the TMNT. So that's fun. He did a great job in this. Obviously Eminem did a great job, like, genuinely. Like, he performed this role really well. And probably because of, like, his connection to this kind of stuff. But, like, everybody did well. And God, Anthony Mackie was such a baby in this. He was so young. I'm not used to seeing him like that young or being a dick. I'm not used to seeing him as a dick either. He's normally, pretty cool guy. um, but yeah, I have no problem with that. I have no problem, like I said, with the music or the direction in terms of like how the movie is set up, the camera work, any of that. The pacing is fine. I even like obviously the focus on the music, the rap, the hip hop. Like I think that really works and showcasing the love for the music of Detroit and everything and how its identity kind of stamps itself, pun intended, with his job on the people within it. And I think that was like obviously with Eminem, that's a really good way to include that. The rap battles were very interesting. There was some language in here that is very outdated, but I honestly expect that. It's an R-rated movie from 2002. Yeah, I'm expecting that. Um, but yeah, it's like pretty much everything was good except like the fact that it just wrapped up way too cleanly. It was too hopeful, too happy in the end. Everything just worked out way too well. And that's my only real issue with it. But otherwise, this was an enjoyable watch, and I'm glad I finally was able to get around to it. Um, Happy that I have finally seen this as someone, again, who has lived in Detroit, or at least the Detroit area, pretty much my entire life, outside of like a couple years. And it's I can see why there is so much popularity behind it. It's it's good. It's not great. It could be better. It has the big issue there, but it is still good. And again, it's very investing while you're watching it. So that's always a good thing too. But as a reminder, we are having movies all this week. So the rest of the week through Friday, we will be having movies. No movies on Saturday or Sunday. And all of the movies this week for the end of the month movie week will be themed as having numbers in their titles, but not like a sequel movie where it's like this movie's title 2. No, not like that. Like this one is like 8 Mile. The 8 is in the title, but it's not like a number 2 for like a sequel. That's what I'm talking about with numbers in the title, stuff like that. So stay tuned for more of that this week. And provided I don't forget again, I have so much trouble with this because, and I know why too. I always forget at the end of the week to announce what the theme for the next one's going to be. And I know it's because I get so invested in talking about the movie that when I'm like done talking about it, I end the redirect, I end the afterthoughts, and I forget to actually say, oh yeah, by the way, this is what's coming up next time. But as a reminder, anyways, both October and December will not have this due to October and December having the Halloween and holiday specials, respectively. And I'm not 100% sure about November right now because, Thanksgiving is in November here in America and everything. And if I'm looking at the schedule here, Thanksgiving is it's either going to be the 20th or the 27th. And if it's the 27th, that is going to completely fuck up everything with that. Because that's the last full week of the month. Let me see. It is the 27th. So yeah, that kind of messes things up because I obviously won't be able to record on that day. And I'm not sure about the day after, Black Friday. So I might not be able to get to it next month either. I will keep you up to date. I'll make a decision by the end of this week, obviously. But we might have to take these next few months off of the monthly movie week. And maybe we'll just do something like some other kind of fun little theme for something during this time. We'll figure out something if we do have to take it off for 3 months in a row. Um, I'll get back to you on that. But for now, tell me in the comments below, what did you think of 8 Mile? Let me know, and thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.